Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone is doing well today. I hope everyone is doing well. I am here to do a review on the Braxtons, season 1, episode 2. Healing takes time. This episode, it it was hard to watch. It really was, because you can see all the pain that's still in the family. You can see how they showed a lot of flashes of Tracy as she was battling cancer. They showed a lot of flashes of Tracy from past seasons and episodes. So it was a lot. It was a lot in this episode, and you can see that this family is based off of the episode that they're really hurting. They really need to find a way to communicate with each other. I see their communication is not good at all. You got some sisters that communicate with each other all the time. Then you have some sisters that very rarely communicate. But anyway, let's get into this review. And it starts with Miss Evelyn, where she is stating that she really feels for her grandson, Kevin, and how she knows that his mother can't be replaced. She knows that, she feels pain, but she also feels that she states that she's lost Tracy almost 3 times, and this was the time that she felt that not she felt, this was the time that there was nothing she could do. The prior times, there was something that could be done, and, she was there, but this time, she there was nothing anyone could do. But she does feel that she still feels Tracy and that Tracy comes to visit her. And she's of the mindset that she knows that at some point she's going to have to leave here too, which we all will have to travel down that road at some point in life. They do tell us that, of course, Tracy had esophageal cancer, and they tell us that the symptoms, we're assuming, started when they were at a birthday party for Tony. And she stated that, when she was eating or swallowing, that it burned when she was swallowed. So they were telling her that as soon as she got back home, she needed to go to the doctor and get that checked out, which she did do, only to find out that she was in stage 3 esophageal cancer. And Tracy stated that, she was going to beat this, and she was going to be a positive for someone else that may deal with this in the future, because she felt like she was going to beat it. So she fought it. She did as best she could, but in the end, God has the final say. It does show where how they all spent time with her during that time, which was a great thing, because, you know, it showed where they all came together as a family. But it also seems like with her passing, she was actually the glue that held them together, because now they're at odds and they're fighting like crazy. It's crazy. And everybody handles grief differently, and it looks like each of them are handling it in their own way. Trina is, I feel like Trina is the most emotional at this time, because she's saying that she's eating and she's drinking her emotions away. So she feels like that's why she can't she can't lose weight, because all she's doing is eating and drinking, because she was actually there when not Tracy took her last breath. And she makes the comment that Tawanda said that she wasn't strong enough to handle that. And now she realizes that she wasn't strong enough to handle it, because she's stating that she relives that every day, which I can actually relate to, because I was there when my father passed. And I know every day for the longest, when I closed my eyes, that was the only thing I saw. Even days when my eyes were open, that was the only thing I saw. So I understand where she says that she relives that every day, and she can't separate herself from it, because there's a sense of guilt there. Because I know I felt it, because my dad died. I felt like there was something I could have done. Eventually, I came to the realization that at the end of the day, I did everything that I could do, but it took me a minute to get there. I'm not gonna even lie. It took me a minute to get there. But she talks about how she can't sleep because she sees it every day and she doesn't know what to do. She says she hears a lot of noise in her head and she can't turn the noise off. She has a lot of thoughts going in her mind. So that's keeping her from sleeping at night. So she's eating and drinking, and that's helping her to self medicate to numb the pain. But at the end of the day, she's going to have to learn how to deal with those emotions. She's going to have to feel that pain in order for her to process and grieve and move on. But everybody handles grief differently. They also talk about where Tamar did a concert where she did a tribute to Tracy. Trina talks about how when doing that tribute, she broke down. She couldn't take it, and she was wondering how Tamar was able to. Tamar states that she has been through grief counseling and she learned a lot of tools on how to deal with stuff. So she says singing helps her to deal with her emotions. Tawana Tawanda is saying that she still feels like Tracy is here with her. She's not here in the physical sense, but she still feels her. So she's able to deal with her grief that way. Trina feels that they aren't as close as they used to be. And in this scene or in this episode, we see where they go to bickering and fighting. And Tony lets them know that she is still in the angry phase. And she feels like she suppresses her emotions because she feels like since she's the oldest, that she has to be the strong one at all times. So she said she was angry at God. She felt that this was unfair because Tracy had dealt with so much in her life already. And she felt, she was the oldest. She already had lupus. So she felt like she was the one that was going to die first. So she never thought that this was going to happen to Tracy. So she has guilt and anger, and she doesn't know how to express that. She doesn't know how to be vulnerable with her family. And the way they were doing on this episode, I don't see how they can be, because it's just like they just fighting amongst each other. And this is the time when you lose a family member, y'all are supposed to come together as a family, not sit there and fight each other. But hopefully maybe they can get there one day. She also stated that, her parents, did the best that they could. They were great at helping them learn to be there for each other, but they weren't that great as far as it came to teaching them how to take care of themselves individually, because they were always told to look out for their sisters, look out for their sisters, or look out for their siblings. They were never taught to just, take care of yourself. They were always told to take care of the family. So Tony was talking about it has been hard for her to put her kids before her siblings and herself, because she had been conditioned for so long to look out for the siblings. So she don't know how to just take care of herself. Evidently, Tamar has learned to take care of herself. But they asked little Kevin, how he was feeling, and he was telling them that, he was hurting every day, that he lost a part of him when his mother died, and he was grieving for his mother and his wife. And he was talking about how hard it was, and the fact that the wife had told him that no matter how hard things had gotten, that she would always be there for him, or be there with him no matter what. She would always be there through thick and thin, only to now serve him with divorce papers after he lost his mother. So now he's trying to cope with losing two people at once. That's a hard blow, to lose your mother and then to lose the woman that said that she was going to be with you till death do you part. So that has to be hard for him to deal with. He said he was blindsided, and then during the Zoom call, we see where there was a knock on the door, and no one knows who it is, but it sounded like it was the police. But they didn't know for certain. But he got off the Zoom call. Tamar is talking about she was trying to find out, was that the police? Was that the police there? And they're like, they don't know. That wasn't a forum to discuss that. Of course, Tawana got up and ran to call him to find out what was going on. And Tamar feels like everybody is keeping secrets and they're not telling her what's going on. Of course, Tony tells her, she doesn't know what's going on. Trina makes the statement of, this isn't the right form. That's Kevin's business. And I don't know how much Trina knew or how much Tawanda knew, but they were trying to, I guess, not put it out there on camera because they were in front of the cameras, whatever it was. So Tawanda went to call him to find out what was going on. And of course, Tamar is still sitting there being bratty about the whole situation, when you got everybody, for the most part, sitting there talking about they don't know what's going on, but she feels like they do know what's going on. And she really feels away. You can tell that everybody got defensive in that situation. And, Tony lets them know she don't know what's going on, because Tawana comes back, lets them know that someone had made an anonymous call to the police and let them know that Kevin Jr. had a warrant, but nobody knows what the warrant is for. So Tamar sitting there making this big hissy fit about not knowing what was going on, and evidently don't nobody know what's going on. So Tawana feels that he was set up by somebody close to him, because who else knows that he was there online on a Zoom call with his family? My thing is, if he was set up, why was he set up? What's the warrant for? Was there something there that we don't know about? Is it our business? No, but if you're gonna put it out there, put it out there. But Tony makes a statement that she feels like they need to reconvene because everybody is not in the right headspace and mental space to continue with the session, and Tamar is like, reconvene for what? She's been to grief counseling, and she's letting them know, she has, because Tony is trying to figure out what's going on with Tamar, and Tamar makes the statement of she no longer has the desire to beg. So they ask her, what are you begging for? And she makes the statement of she doesn't want to beg for a sisterhood, a friendship, a time. She don't want to beg for anything at this point. So Tony apologizes to her for making her feel as though she had to beg for her sisterhood or her time. And I don't feel that that was directed at Tony, because from what I've seen in past seasons, Braxton Family Values, she talked to Tony a lot. So I don't feel like Tony is the one that she's having that issue with. Then Trina also makes the statement of, when you call and say, hey, come spend some time with me, I want to hang out, whatever the case may be. She told her 9 times out of 10, do I not show up? And she was like, yeah, you show up. So Trina was like, this doesn't reflect on me. The person that you have the issue with, say who you have an issue with. Don't just put it out there like it's everybody when you know it's not. If it's only one person that you are having an issue with, that you feel a way about, let that be known. Don't sit here and say, act like it's everybody when it's not. So the therapist was asking Tawanda or the sisters how they felt when they had another sister said that they don't have access to her. And Tawanda basically said, you have to respect where people are. So if that's how Tamar feels, that's how she feels. She's going to respect where she is. She don't want to force herself upon someone that doesn't want to be bothered. So it was like, she makes it feel numb. And she was like, no, it's just, if that's how she feels, that's how she feels. I respect where she is. So Tamar was basically like, the feeling is mutual, it's reciprocated. However I feel, that's how you feel too. And Tamar makes the statement of, outside of yesterday and today, when have you called me, or when have I talked to you? And someone was like, you ain't called me. So, and they make the statement, but she was like, you talk to, because Tawanda was saying that right now she's focusing more on her family, on her household, the people that are in her household. So Tamar was like, Tony and Trina aren't in your household. And she was like, but they called me. They called me to check on me. And she was like, well, I call you. Say, anytime you call me or text me, I'll respond. Of course, Tamar don't feel that way. I don't know what their issue is, but evidently they got an issue, and they might need to go to separate counseling just for the two of them. I don't know where their issues stem from, but they got some serious issues in this doggone episode. So Miss Evelyn she's gotten to the point where she's sick of them arguing at this point, because she's like, she's sick and tired of them. They're acting like enemies. She's like, y'all don't know, if you leave here today, something might happen to one of you. Life is too short for y'all to be sitting up here arguing and fussing and fighting over nothing. Something just so simple that it doesn't make any sense. She also was telling them that before Tracy passed, she told them that they needed to stop arguing. And if they continue to do so, that, she was going to haunt them. I would say maybe that's what's wrong with Trina, but I can't say that. However, whatever it is, I don't know, they got some strong, deep rooted issues, and they really need to work on them. And it's sad because they done been to family counseling multiple times, and obviously it's not working. I don't know what to do. I know every family has their own personal issues, but for them, this isn't, it doesn't look good at all. At all. And even with them, they feel like Tracy was the glue that held the family together. And the fact that she's no longer here is affecting all of them majorly. And it was sad to see, it really was. And mama told them that, she's tired of going to God, praying for them, praying for the same things with them to get their, for them to stop arguing and bickering and fussing and fighting. She's tired of going to God with that same prayer. And she says she's disappointed in them, and she needs them to, fix it. Now, whether or not they're gonna fix it, only God knows. But they really need to work on their issues, because the therapist is like, y'all got to be willing to do the work. And I don't know if they are really willing to do the work. I really don't. And it was sad to see. I hated this for this episode because this was a really sad episode. But I enjoyed a lot of the flashbacks that they did. I enjoyed the fact that they spent time with their sister before her passing. And I hate the way this episode was, because you dealing with the pain of that, and now you can't come together as a family. Hopefully, by them doing the show, they're able to come to a healing in the family. They're able to learn how to communicate. I would have thought after all these seasons that they would learn how to communicate better with each other. It hasn't happened. So hopefully they can get that together. The therapist was telling them that, anytime that they were ready to do the work, that they needed to call her so they can, get together and do some more sessions. Of course, Tony was telling them they needed a few more sessions. Honestly, they need a lot of more sessions. I think they all need individual therapy and therapy together. Trina needs maybe a lot more than others. Tony needs some too, because she's feeling all this guilt. She needs to really work on that. And Trina needs some help, for real. But I wasn't too crazy about this episode, probably because it got me in my emotions with dealing with the passing of my parents. So made me think about that a lot. So this wasn't my favorite episode. Hopefully it'll get better as the seasons progress. But I just wanted to jump on and give my little thoughts on how the episode was. But that is going to be it, and that is all. So please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on how you felt about the episode and how you feel the season is going. Outside of that, you all have an amazing day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.